Welcome again, guys. So in this video we will start making the to-do app, and we will see how we can add the to-dos and delete it. So login. Yeah, so we are on the dashboard. Now we will make a text input so that we can add our to-dos. So let's see. In the dashboard we will add a input. So yeah, and we can give it the placeholder value of add your to do. So yeah, it's here. And now let's create a button for adding this to do. Button add to do. So yeah, it's here. So now we need to add to do to the database. For that we need to configure the Appwrite database. So let's open the configure.js, and here we need to import the database from Appwrite and export that database like this. And now open your Appwrite console and go to the databases. So I don't have any database, so I will create. Let's name it to do db. Create it. And now copy this database ID and paste it in the env. So let's do from scratch. React app db id equal to this, and now we also need to create a collection. So let's see. Now we need to create a collection and name this collection like to dos and create it. Now copy this collection ID and add it here. React app collection ID. So now we need to add attributes. What are attributes? Like it is a key value pair. So let us consider an example. We want that each user can add to do. So what attributes we need? We want the email of the user and the to do. Email will be of type email and the to do will be of type string. So these two are the attributes. So create attribute, and key we will give as email, and attribute type. So we want the email type, and so create it. And we also want a second attribute, that is to do itself. So this will be of a string, and let's add the max size of 500 and create. So now our attributes are created. We can add this. So let's go to the dashboard. Now we want to add the to do when the user clicks on the button. So for getting the input from this field, we need to create a hook, use state hook. So let's create const to do equals to set to do use state. So we can use on change, and here we can set the to do value e dot target dot value. So yeah, and now we want to add this to do to the database when a user clicks on this button. So let's create on click, and here we will define a function called add to do. So now let's define this function here. Const to do add to do, and as you know, this will be a async function because you all know that we have to deal with promises. So now we need to access the database. So we need to create a document for it. So let's start. We will call the database, and then it has a method called create document. And now, as you can see, the first thing it wants is the database ID. So we have defined it in the .env file. This is. So we will copy that. So we will write process.env.react app db id. And the second thing it wants is the collection ID. Again, we have right here react app collection ID. And the third thing is the document is ID. It is a string. So we can just type unique here for getting a unique ID. And then it has the data. So we need to define our data. So as you can see, we have two fields, email and to do. So we will define it here. The first thing is email, and here we will pass our email, and the second thing is to do. So here we will pass our to do, and we can store this in a variable x and await this. So for handling the errors, we can wrap it inside try catch block, try catch, and in case of error we will console.log the error, console.log error, and here we will console the output log x. And so on click calls the add to do method, but in this function we have to handle the validation, because if user has not written any to do, so we don't need to add it to the database. So for that we will just write some code like if to do is equal to null, so alert enter some to do, else we are good to go. So here we need to make it a default value of this, and now it should work. Let's see, and let's add I am grouped. So we got an error, database not found. So let's see what is the problem. So we have the database ID, copy this and paste it. So I think we need to just reload this project. So let's restart this, npm start. So now log in, and yeah, so let's open the console, and here I am adding I am Groot, as I am the biggest fan of Groot. The current user is not authorized to perform the requested action. Yeah, so yeah, this is the error regarding to the permission roles. So let's see what it is. So here go to the collection, yeah, here. So inside this collection, go to the settings, and here you can see that we don't have any permission, so we have to add a role to get started. So let's say we only want that user of this app can use this collection, so we can add users and give them the permissions, and now update this thing. And now let's reload this, and I am Groot, and add this. So yeah, it has been added, and let's see it in our console. So we have the databases, we have the to do DB, inside it we have the to dos. So you can see the document, we have the email and we have the to do.